Hi everybody, I'm Misty Summers and I'm a life refinement coach. I help people every day to live more abundant and passionate lives. My primary goal is for you to live a life that you love. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, take a minute, hover over the subscribe button below and click subscribe. Also, if you want to get notified of new videos right away, click the bell icon so that you get notified right away. Also, I do daily inspirational videos that help really set the tone for your day and get you started in the right direction every morning, giving you something to ponder and something to improve your quality of life. So let's get started on today's video, which is how to learn to unconditionally love yourself. What a great topic, and one that I feel personally is one of the most important things any human being on the planet can do. Loving yourself is essential to personal growth. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna cover 7 primary topics that I feel you should strive to achieve to really master loving yourself unconditionally. So without further ado, let's get started. So the very first topic we're gonna cover is something that I like to call the ladder technique. It's something that I found really useful when I first started attempting to really love myself, and I was not in a place that I loved myself. In fact, I was completely the opposite. I judged myself so harshly, I felt completely unworthy of love, and so I would read these affirmations and these mantras, and I was hoping that might be a tool that could work for me. And you know, an affirmation or a mantra is something that you tell yourself every day that's supposed to change your mindset and give you a new perspective on that subject. So I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm talking to myself and I'm attempting to say these mantras like, you are beautiful and you're amazing and I love you so much. And for me personally, I felt like a total liar. I felt like I was lying. And the energy wasn't true. The energy wasn't there for me to be able to use affirmations or use mantras that way. I couldn't get around that. And so what I started doing that was really helpful was to say something that was maybe only one step. So if you think about a ladder, think about where I'm at here and I want to climb the ladder to where I want to be. And there's multiple steps. Let's say there's 10 steps on the ladder between here and there. So if I want to go from really not loving myself at all to completely loving myself, or let's say I want to go from viewing myself as ugly or hideous to viewing myself as beautiful, I needed to take one step in the direction of where I wanted to be. One step on the ladder at a time. So I might go from saying that I feel hideous or I feel ugly to maybe I'll go from hideous to ugly. Maybe that's the one step. And to an outsider, you might look at that and say, you're still calling yourself ugly, which is really negative and unhelpful, but I disagree. For me, I went from hideous to ugly, and that was improvement. And then maybe I went from ugly to homely, and that was improvement. And it was moving me towards where I wanted to be. It was moving me towards my goal. And then maybe I could go from homely to, you know, average. And then maybe not, you know, some things are pretty about me. Or to then pretty. Or then to beautiful. Or then to stunning. But I couldn't just go from, I think I'm hideous, to I'm beautiful. Because it just did not resonate with me. It felt like a lie. And so that was so beneficial for me to walk myself into a new story. To show myself a new way of seeing things and thinking about myself, but to do it in a way that felt true and it felt good. It felt, every step of the way felt better and better and better, and it felt true for me as I went through it. So consider using this in your process of loving yourself. If you find that mantras or affirmations don't always ring true when you are using them, and then you may end up stop using them because they don't feel true, try using the ladder technique and see if it works for you, and if you can more gradually step into retraining yourself to view things differently. So the second thing, the topic that I would like you to really look at and address today is courting yourself. I grew up religiously, and so a man had to court a woman. You had to go out on group dates and get to know each other, but the courting process was all about winning the affection of the other person. And so if you're familiar with that, with what that is, basically dating, you know, but you're dating in a way that the courtship is to show that other human how you feel and how much you care about them. And so this is what I would like you to do with yourself. No one knows you like you know yourself. You know yourself better than anybody. So why not take that knowledge and use it to your advantage? When you want to unconditionally love this being that you are, one way to get there is to show it. So do things for yourself that you enjoy. It doesn't always have to involve money. It could. Buy yourself flowers, give yourself a massage, take yourself out on a date, go to a movie, have dinner, maybe spend a little money on a new outfit. Do something that you wouldn't normally do for yourself. It can also be taking a hot bath, reading a good book, anything that, you know, going for a hike, anything that this being really loves and enjoys, especially in the moment. If you're craving something, if you want something, you're spoiling yourself. You're giving yourself a reason to really express how you feel about yourself, and especially with words. So I used to sing in the car. I like to sing songs like on the radio, and if a love song came on, I would sing it to myself, because that was my purpose and my goal at that time, was to fall in love with this being, and I wanted her to know how I felt about her. And so it's a process, you know, of finding ways to show how much I care about myself and to reestablish a relationship built on love and trust, where before I had such heavy judgments and I had been so hard on myself and sacrificed myself for everyone else's happiness. And so that's something I want you to focus on, courting yourself. Maybe sit down after this video, write a list out, and share what you would like to do in courting yourself. Or maybe drop a comment below right now and just say, I want to take myself out on a date, or I want to, you know, give myself flowers, or whatever you think would be impactful for your relationship with yourself. So number 3, a little bit what we talked about in the last topic is reestablishing your relationship built on trust and love. So I want you to think about your relationship with yourself like a troubled marriage or a troubled relationship. Let's say you're dating and it's just conflict, and you've broken the trust and you've sacrificed yourself in ways that you shouldn't have, and you've abused each other. Well, that's what you've done to yourself. When you have low self-esteem, you've damaged yourself intentionally to gain approval from other people. You've put yourself last. You haven't honored yourself. You haven't kept your word to yourself. And so you've got to reestablish that relationship, which takes work and it takes time. That means that when you make a promise to yourself, you keep it. When you make a decision that you're going to do something for yourself, you do it. And you are fighting to restore this relationship, just like you would be fighting to save a marriage. I want it to be that important to you, and I want you to take it that seriously. That you need to show yourself that you're serious, and you need to show yourself that you can really trust that you'll be there for yourself. You have your back, and you're not going to behave the way that you have been behaving. And if you slip up, get right back into where you need to be. You're still not going to just walk away from the relationship. You're in this relationship as long as you're on this earth and you're alive. So keep moving forward, keep trying, and keep attempting to be there for yourself and to honor yourself in whatever ways you can. So our 4th topic that I want to cover is accepting, honoring, and acknowledging what you have done to yourself that you may not be proud of. And I think it's important to acknowledge those things. We're not going to just sweep everything under the rug and say none of that happened. Think about it like you're going to therapy, like in a marriage counseling. You've got this troubled marriage and you're kind of going through the hurts. You're going through the pains, and you're looking at them and seeing what was done and where we're going to go from here. But it's important to acknowledge what has happened and how you feel like you have maybe failed yourself, so that moving forward, you avoid those things, or you acknowledge, oh, I see what I'm doing again, I'm not gonna do that. So consider writing some of these down. Any way that you feel you haven't honored yourself, you haven't made yourself a priority, you haven't shown that you love yourself, I want you to take any of these things and write them down on a list and really own them. Acknowledge that these things happen. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's no judgment in this. This is not for you to use to judge yourself. Please actually acknowledge the truth and be with what is, and acknowledge that you did this to yourself. And let's move forward from that space, owning our mistakes, owning the way that we have devalued our relationship with ourselves, but with the intent and the purpose to not repeat these mistakes, to not repeat what the past has brought us. But we are manifesting and creating a completely new life for ourselves. And so it's important to own what has happened. And feel free, once that list is complete and you've done whatever you feel work needs to be done with it, as far as owning and acknowledging it, that you burn it, or you throw it away, or you rip it up in 1,000 tiny pieces. Because we are not here to go back through the past 1,000 times. We are here to honor and acknowledge the truth and what has occurred, and to move forward with an entirely new relationship. So we are now looking at topic number 4, which is forgiveness. Now, I know in the last topic we talked about owning and acknowledging what has happened in your life and in your relationship with yourself. So now let's look at what we can do to forgive, because just like a troubled relationship, we'll go back to that analogy, forgiveness is key. And it's not just forgiving in the sense that you say, okay, I forgive you, and that's it. We need to really hold that energy. We need to really go in and understand, kind of be the parent talking to the child, telling the child version of ourselves, you didn't know what you were doing. You didn't have the life experience or the knowledge or the capacity to act differently in those moments. You thought you were doing what was best, or you were just surviving a situation, and so you responded a certain way. But now, as you've developed as a human being, you understand that that's not necessary anymore to respond that way. And so seeing those things, providing love and forgiveness for what you have done to yourself, and then letting it go. We do not want you carrying these slights against yourself for the rest of your life, because that is helping no one, especially you. That is keeping you exactly where you are. That is keeping you stagnant, and that will never lead to unconditionally loving yourself. That will always lead to loving with conditions. I love you if, I love you when, I will love you when we get to this point. We don't want that type of relationship. We want a pure, true, unconditional love, unrestrained love for who we are. And to get there, we've got to forgive and forget. We've got to let go. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but it means we're not going to carry that baggage with us forever. We're going to honor that it happened, and we're going to forgive it. So number 6, we are now looking at setting healthy boundaries. And if you're unsure what that means, or you're unfamiliar with that concept, you have a general idea from the name, but healthy boundaries means that when other people are impacting your life, that your response is in a healthy way. So like, let's say someone needs you, someone that you care about needs you, and they contact you. What is your response? And the key thing to look for here is compulsion. Do you feel compelled that you have to respond? You have to say yes, and that you cannot say no. Even if you say no, do you feel like you have to say yes? Do you see what I'm saying? It's that conditioning that we cannot prioritize ourselves, we cannot prioritize our needs, and that if anyone needs us, we scramble to take care of them and to take care of anything that they need for us. And you feel compelled to do it. You feel like you can't say no. And so that's an important key to distinguish healthy boundaries, where, let's say the same scenario, someone requests something of you, and you look at your day, you look at what's going on with you, where you're at right now. It's someone you care about, so you want to help, which is a good quality. I want to do what I can to help you. And can I help you? Is it possible for me to help you? And then looking at, do I want to? Am I in a place where I want to help? And should I step away from what I'm doing and do it? Do I feel like I can say yes? Do I feel like I can say no? And actually discerning and making that decision cleanly and clearly, without guilt, without fear of rejection, without shame of not helping someone, that you can look at this situation and you can view it cleanly and clearly, and you can respond to them and give an answer. And so that's where we want to get to, is to have healthy boundaries with those around us. Now, when you first start creating boundaries for people, if they have not been healthy and you've been saying yes to everything, it will be challenging. There will be challenges inside of yourself and challenges from the people around you, because they have an expectation that you've been doing all of these things for them, and they don't understand why there's a change now. Why do things need to change? Because you've been doing all these things for me. And so communicating your desire to set healthier boundaries with people can be really beneficial. They could be really understanding and support you in trying to do that. Even if they're not, still attempt to set those healthy boundaries and to really dissolve any guilt or fear that comes up inside of you, to be with it, allow it to be there. That doesn't mean that you have to respond and jump into the same situation doing everything for everyone. So that's number 6, healthy boundaries. Start practicing it. Really, it's a way to honor yourself and prioritize yourself, and not just completely sacrifice yourself for everyone around you. Okay, so the 7th and final thing is going to be about purging. Now, what purging means to me is it's something I used a lot when I was young, and through my own path of personal development. It was incredibly beneficial. And so what I did was I would buy a journal or a notebook, and I would take anything and everything that was in my head that I really didn't want to be there, and I would dump it out onto a piece of paper. What was beneficial for me in this process of just purging my mind onto a piece of paper was, 1, it gave it a place to exist in this physical world. It got it out of my head, and it got me out of the loop of continuing to go back to those thoughts, and I could look at it and see what was going on inside of my mind, and to purge all of that out of my being. Then after I would dissect it and kind of look at what was going on, I would burn it, I would rip it up, or I would throw it away. It wasn't there to hang out with me. It was really just to get it out of me. And I found that process to be really beneficial and cathartic, especially when I had damaging thoughts, or if I had judgmental thoughts. It really gave me a little more perspective, similar to telling it to a friend, except I didn't even have to have that friend or have that conversation. It was really just about getting it out. Another thing that really helped me with purging was art. And I wasn't an artist when I was young, but I had a lot of pent-up emotion that I wanted to express. And so I started painting. And what I would do really was just be with the canvas and paint anything, abstract painting, that needed to come out of me. And that process of putting that energy into a piece of art was really therapeutic for me, and it helped me to identify kind of what was going on within me. And so for me, that was beneficial as a process of honoring where I was at and what was happening within me, without making it stronger, without resisting it and pushing it down inside of me. It was a way to express it, get it out in a healthy way, and to see it manifest either in a letter, in words, or on canvas with art. And I just found it incredibly soothing and therapeutic for my being to have that ability to put something out there that way. So those are my 7 primary things that I did to really help me learn to unconditionally love myself. And it's a process. This is not an instantaneous thing that you're gonna do overnight. It's just not gonna happen. You are on this journey with yourself, and you've had many life experiences that have allowed you to come to many conclusions about yourself and about those around you, and about how you are treated, how you should be treated, how you treat yourself. And all of those conclusions take time to dissolve. You need to have new life experiences that show you new ways of being and what's possible for you to experience. And so as you begin changing your relationship with yourself, your external world and your outside circumstances will start reflecting that to you. And you'll start seeing these new people new experiences, new ways of being, all these new parts of your journey that start coming to you, and it's exciting. And don't become alarmed. Don't focus on anything that still represents the old aspect of your journey, because because it's a process, there's still a large percentage of you that's still believing these old stories or these old lies that you used to believe about yourself. And so don't become too unhappy, and don't focus on it too much. If you see parts of your story that are not supporting this new story you're telling and this love for yourself, then focus on the things that do. Focus on the things that do show you that relationship, and continue forward every single day. You know, put these things to practice and see what can happen for you, because it's life-changing. It is absolutely life-changing, and I truly believe that learning to unconditionally love yourself should be #1 priority for every human on the planet, because it will revolutionize your life. It will change every relationship you have. It will change your belief in yourself, your capacity to create incredible things, to attract and manifest an abundant and passionate life that you want to live. And so this is my advice. This is what I would say to you if you were right in front of me. Learn to love yourself. You know, do it. Invest in yourself. Take the time and make it real. So I hope that you have enjoyed our video today and our time here today. My plan right now is to drop a new video every Monday at 8 a.m. So that will be the schedule. So right now I'm going to do a series on self-love, which I've wanted to do for a while. And so tune in Monday, 8 a.m. and watch out for that new video. The next one will also be on self-love, keeping with the series. And then also every day, every morning, you're gonna see the daily inspiration come out on any subject. So that's on any topic. And you can use that to get your day started and you know, process whatever that brings up for you each day. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Again, you know, don't walk away without subscribing to my channel, and we'll be on this journey together and sharing all these insights on self-love right now for this series. And make sure you click the bell so that you get notified of new videos right away. And go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know where you are at on your journey of self-love, because I would love to hear from you where you're at on this journey, and if these 7 things are gonna be helpful for you. If you feel like you got benefit from this video, drop a comment and let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next Monday. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel to get all the latest video updates and daily inspirations.